Hello, and thank you for joining me on Business Talks. I am Lana Smith, your host, and today we have a very special show. We have Leigh Wick, the owner of Vanity Makeup and Skin, right here in Spokane, and she's in the studio with us, and you're not going to want to miss this. Thank you for being with me, Leigh.
Thank you for having me, Lana. I'm nervous.
You are? Don't be nervous. It's all friends. We're just all friends here.
Thank you.
So, Leigh, you have a very special story, a very unique story in the business world. You've been in the cosmetic, how do I want to say that? The makeup, cosmetic, beauty industry for over 25 years.
I have.
I imagine you've seen a lot of trends come
I
and
have.
go.
Yep, I sure have.
And also, combined with all of that, you have created an extremely successful business for the last 5 years with Vanity.
Thank you.
And so Leigh she's a very unique individual. She is beautiful, obviously, and she's smart, and she has a perspective that many of us don't have. As you can see, Leigh is in a wheelchair. We've talked. I know Leigh very well, so I know her story. But from age 4
Yes.
on, and you have conquered this challenge that would knock most people down, right?
Thank you.
You've conquered the challenge. Not only have you conquered it, you've succeeded.
Thank you.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about when you had this vision for opening your own business. Why did you go into the beauty industry? Let's start with that.
So I'm a very open book, so if I give too much history, feel free to just cut me off. But I was born with lumbar sacroiligenesis, which is a genetic birth defect. In the 70s, it was a permanent disability. Now, with all the medical advances, they discover the genetic birth defect in utero, and they correct the deformity in utero.
Oh, wow.
I was born in 1970. I'm 50 years old, and I was born in Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I lived there essentially till I was 4, until I was stable enough to go home, I had wonderful family. I have really some very traumatic memories from that experience, but for the most part, I've been very blessed my entire life. I don't know any different. I'm very thankful that I have not had the ability to walk and then have it taken away, because people are like, oh, what would you do if you could walk? And I really would do the most stupid things. I would never climb a mountain. No, I would wear cute shoes and cute jeans. Literally, that's it. So I'm doing well. After age 4 and after I had 14 surgeries, as I grew up, I just was healthy. Despite the fact that once they got the disability and all my surgeries, and as I grew, I outlived a lot of their expectations, and was told I was never going to have children, never going to get married, never. And I just don't believe in any of that nonsense. I believe that people kind of write their own story with the help of God and with the help of whoever they believe is the creator. We are bigger than what we are born in this body. And I just have always sort of played the hand that I'm dealt and just kind of go for it. I was a makeup artist at MAC Cosmetics from 2003 on. And then when I was 45, I decided I was going to go to beauty school, which was a shocking experience. All of a sudden, it was like we were all 14. And it was a Vanity Makeup and Skin then was born. I had a lot of my makeup clients. I had an amazing husband who I still have him. We've been married for 22 years, and we have 3 children. And he's just been an amazing support system. And we are living now in Spokane due to some issues with my son, which is kind of how I met you, because childhood disabilities and things are so important to me, not really putting limits on kids and really not looking at them from a victim standpoint, but really looking at them from just to survive. They're just are. It is what it is. And instead of looking at what they can't do, you really just look at them in that moment as that beautiful being that is here. And that's why Wishing Star was so important to me. So then that's how you and I became friends.
Wow.
So
And what a wonderful day that was.
I would agree. Yes.
So you have this experience. Beauty becomes important to you through being a makeup artist with MAC.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
And you also have a great relationship with Paul Mitchell.
I do.
I understand.
So when I'm a paralegal by trade. I was a paralegal for years and years. And then I always loved makeup, always. In high school, did all my friends' makeup, and I was always really good at skin and would pierce all my friends' ears. I mean, I always did all the
You
did
were
henna.
that girl.
Oh, yeah.
You were the girl piercing my daughter's ears
Totally,
when she
totally.
wasn't supposed to have them
Yes,
pierced.
I was wearing a beret and had eyeliner out to my temples way before that was even in style. I was way ahead of my time. But I kind of broke a lot of stereotypes even then, because I'm not really sure what people expect when they see somebody in a wheelchair, but they expect somebody to present, I think, from a victim mentality rather than just presenting as a person.
Victor.
Yeah,
I mean you're not a victim.
and I don't-
You're a victor. You're victorious.
Yeah, and so it's an interesting thing. When I worked at MAC, I worked there part-time, and I would get one of the common themes of my customers and my clients would be that they'd never felt comfortable coming in because it was an intimidating environment or an intimidation factor that was there for them. And I was somehow approachable because I kind of blew their mind with the stereotype. So I just embraced that approachability and the welcomed everybody and all races, all ages, all sexes. That was in my value system anyway. And I really loved it when first-time makeup wearers who may have been in their 50s, who just now maybe are getting a divorce, or they maybe have now
Midlife crisis.
Yeah, I mean, people choose to do
Just
things.
asking for a friend.
Yeah. I got you, girl. You already know. So I just really kind of embraced that I got the clients that were on the outside looking in, and I'm the one that encourages them that you're welcome here. And that sort of then jumped off to my aesthetics career at Paul Mitchell. And Paul Mitchell, they entered me into a competition for new up-and-coming beauty industry professionals that were recent graduates. And I got selected they asked me to be part in their Today Creates Tomorrow campaign. And I was sent on a beauty school tour across Washington and Idaho. And next year it'll be Utah. And we had to obviously not do it last year because of COVID. But I have a very special relationship with Paul Mitchell EDU and Paul Mitchell, the school in Richland, and all the Idaho and Utah Paul Mitchells. Their environment was really welcoming. It felt really complimentary to what I was used to. And I was actually turned down from I almost said their name, I won't. From a beauty school in Tri-Cities that I went to try and do due diligence and see what their master aesthetics program looked like. And the owner said that she pulled me in and said I would never, this was literally 5 years ago now, said that I would not be able to financially make it as an esthetician because I was in a wheelchair.
Wow.
So
what did that do when you heard those words? I know you, so I can guess the answer, but sure. When you heard you can't,
so
what did that do in you?
I was so shocked because I hadn't experienced that kind of discrimination in a long time. I mean, I was raised in the 70s, so nothing was accessible compared to now. So I was really raised by a very tough mom that said, you need to ask for help when you need it. And the world is not always an accessible place, and it's up to you to advocate for what you need. And your wheelchair gives you no excuse to live a terrible life. And that was literally my mantra. So I was so shocked that a woman who is a for-profit, I have money to pay for beauty school. I'm literally knocking at the door. And she thought she was doing me a favor, which was even more offensive. And so I went out to my car. It took me about good 10 minutes to realize what had happened. But you got that feeling, and you know what's happened, but you're trying to deny it because it's so offensive that you're just shocked that it even happened. And I had a meeting. I had already gone to Paul Mitchell to do guest artistry classes there just as a volunteer because it's something I'm passionate about, to do makeup and teach their little makeup classes on just a guest artistry basis. And so I had somewhat of a relationship with the Paul Mitchell brand just from my experience there. And I thought, well, I'm going to try this other school out first just to see. And that was my experience. So I sat in the car and I realized after she had told me that I wasn't welcome there, essentially, and that she thought she was doing me a favor by not taking my money. And I just sobbed. And then I was furious. And then on the way home, I called the admissions director at Paul Mitchell. And I'm pretty much no nonsense. I'm very direct, as you know. It takes a lot to offend me. I'm very, it is what it is, and you don't need to fluff me up at all. In turn, please expect that same from me, which is often because that's just my personality. Mm-hmm. So I called the admissions director and I said, hey, I need to ask you a question and I need you to be very, very, very frank with me. And I don't want you to tell me what I want to hear because you want to take my admissions money. I really want, as person to person. You just
wanted truth.
Correct. And I said, do you think that I am capable or able to financially be successful as an esthetician? Or am I just being dumb and should I just stay being a paralegal and a makeup artist? Like, please tell me. She said, how am I supposed to know what you're capable of doing? And why would I ever put that limitation on you? And I just started sobbing then. And I told her what was my experience. And then Paul Mitchell just took it from there. And I vowed to be a 6-figure esthetician in a year, and I did.
Phenomenal.
And now COVID sat me back down.
COVID has sat us all back down a little bit. But you started, so you're living in Tri-Cities.
Yes.
And you opened your first shop.
Yes, I did. I left I was a mom first and foremost, and a wife. And Mac was a super fun, passionate job for me to be able to go in, do makeup, go home, leave it there, and still be a mom. I could work part-time. I was freelance, so I could accept what shifts I would like and what shifts I, wouldn't work. We essentially, when I graduated from beauty school, I decided I wanted to be a business owner. And I have a long line of entrepreneurs in my family, and so I thought I can do this. I just need to listen to my ancestors. And I did. And I opened in 2017 in a little 750 square foot little spa, and it was Vanity Makeup and Skin was born. And as soon as I had so many makeup clients that as soon as I said I was taking clients, they all came, which was amazing. And then we relocated to Spokane in 2019.
Amazing. Your story is so inspirational. And there's so much that I want you to share with our viewers about this, because you have some really strong and amazing philosophies in business. And I'd love to stick around with you if you'd do a part 2 with us.
Yes.
And talk about that.
Absolutely.
So we'll close this for now, but stay with us. Leigh Wick is going to stay with us and share a lot more in part 2. So thank you for joining us today on Business Talks. I'm Lana Smith.